Good morning, everyone. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Does everyone have their tea? I'm not a tea drinker, but I've got my coffee. Do you got your coffee ready? Because we're going to go through some stuff with Jaclyn Hill today. So, Jaclyn Hill. Jackie. I like to think of her as Jackie. She lives in Florida, but I imagine Jackie is the kind of woman that lives in New Jersey because that's her aesthetic, all right? And I feel like her name should be Jackie, not Jaclyn. All right, so Jackie's back, and she's back on social media. Well, no, she's not back on social media. She's back on YouTube. And if you remember, she deleted her Twitter account. She deleted her Instagram on July 26th. So her return is like 27 days, almost a month of silence from Jaclyn. And now she's back. She's back, you guys. She's back. And she says she's going to tell you where she's been. And in the video, I just want to start this out by saying, if you are around any businesswoman that refers to herself as a boss-ass bitch, run the other direction. Because in my world, you don't take people seriously that call themselves a boss-ass bitch and actually believe they're a boss. That's like something they use on social media to talk about women that sell multi-level marketing products like oils or It Works or frickin' LuLaRoe. Like, real business women never call themselves that. So just don't even, I can't, the very first thing she says is, I was just so busy being a boss-ass bitch. Like, girl, stop calling yourself a boss-ass bitch. It's tacky, it's stupid, and it's just so, MLM and unprofessional. So, that's my first caveat here. Now, let's get into what she actually talks about. It's a 19-minute video where for the first 7 minutes, she says absolutely nothing. It's amazing to me how you can fill 19 minutes and say nothing. Now, I know on my own channel I can ramble sometimes, but I try to produce and make content that actually has substance. And in this video, there was nothing. It felt like I felt like it was an empty, voidless, abyss of self-pity, of feel sorry for me, of addressing none of the issues and making extremely vague statements. She took this straight out of the beauty influencer handbook of screw up, leave for social media, come back, and then pretend like you're sorry and say nothing, okay? So she talks about how much this YouTube community means to her because she has shared her anxiety, her depression, her divorce. And so she had to come back and talk to people because she needs to get back to this YouTube world. And she talks about how, people in her life have told her that she shouldn't say anything. And she said she just cannot shut it off because if you're in a relationship with someone, you don't just walk away and ignore it and wait for everything to blow over. You address it head on. Okay. Then she goes on this 3-minute diatribe about how she needs to say thank you. So she spends 5 minutes just rambling, saying absolutely nothing. And then she says, the biggest thing that I want to say that's on my heart, that I need to say, that's important is thank you. I can think of a million other things that she could say right now, but thank you is not one of them at all. She said that she needed to thank all of the people who sent her gifts, who sent her DMs, who reached out to her, that called her, that texted her, that did all of these things because it really helped pick her up during a very dark time. Then she also thanked beauty influencers for actually reaching out to her and sticking their necks out to everyone, and being like willing to stand up for her, and it really means so much, and blah 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 blah. Then after like 7 minutes of saying nothing, and then like finally like thanking everybody, she says that she needs to be her true authentic self in this video diary. Okay. She says she doesn't want to be seen as the victim. And then she like doesn't edit things out. Like she's got a dog barking. She doesn't edit it out. She says she's going to edit out tears, but then she's crying. And she says, she's not going to cry in this video, and I'm going to edit out my tears. And that's why I didn't come on here, because I knew I was going to cry. And I don't want you to think I don't want you to think that I'm feeling sorry for myself. And I couldn't film for the last month because I couldn't do it without crying. But then she doesn't edit out like as she's dabbing away tears. Like, watching her is so hard. And I do this for you guys. I do this straight for you. So finally, after like rambling, she says the purpose of this is to let herself get back on YouTube so she can make makeup tutorials. But then she goes on this diatribe, or like this like rambling session about how she's wanted to own her own cosmetic line for 9 years. And ever since she was like a MAC cosmetic consultant at a mall, when she was 20 years old, and she dreamed of being a boss ass bitch for all this time, and she said, and I completely failed. My launch failed. And then she's like, tries to explain why it fails, but she doesn't say anything. She says she was overconfident. She says she oversold it, overhyped it, said that her products were going to be the best. She was going to make the most amazing lipstick the industry had never seen. She was going to do all of these things. She promised everything to people. She was on social media pumping it up so much, and she admitted that she didn't spend as much time actually on the business aspect of it. She said, I spent the money on the best labs. I spent so much money. I had all the right people. I was so cocky. Okay. Yep. That's right. So she almost addressed the fact that she's a narcissist, but not quite. Then there's all these rumors that going around on social media related to, does Morphe own this brand? Who is the real owner of this company? What is this company about? Is this some part of like collaborative effort, because she's done other launches with Morphe, and she's had all these like drama channels in the recent weeks do all these different videos on her, different blogs that are writing about her. And she said that she's not going to address any of the rumors because it would take her an hour and a half, and she just doesn't want to. And then she says she didn't delete her social media because she doesn't want people to think she deleted her social media because she was embarrassed. But then 2 seconds later, she says that she was embarrassed and shocked by everything that happened with the products, and that she was so overconfident in the product, but so under-involved in quality control that she overhyped it, and she trusted all the wrong people and did things she should not have done. Vague. She said she felt terrible about the lipstick. She refunded everybody. She said she didn't want to, after she refunded all of the money, she said that at that point she knew she had to move forward. And then she's like, and I was just so grateful because some people just didn't even want to accept the money, and those that didn't want to accept the money donated it to charity. Okay. Irrelevant. Then she talks about how she couldn't sleep at night and she was disturbed by what she saw online. And then she's like, this is not the time for me to open up about what I've gone through. It's just not appropriate for me to discuss that. But like, she's literally said nothing, and all she's done is talked about what she went through. Jaclyn is like a walking contradiction. So she says that she's not going to, and then she's like, I'm not going to say what I've done right or done wrong. My brand is confidential. I don't have to share this information with you. What? Yes, you do. If you're selling a damn product, people should know what you're doing. And by the way, her company, when you look on it online, like I want to know who are all these employees, because her company doesn't have that many employees when it's listed on the Secretary of State's website. So like I believe that these people that she's saying that she's hired are not necessarily her company, but rather maybe contractors. I don't believe Jaclyn Cosmetics is this huge, enormous conglomerate that has all this money. And then she's like talking about how she didn't actually delete her social media because of like the negativity, or because of what was going on, or that she was running away. She said she wasn't hiding. She said, I would have thought it looked like I was hiding. I mean, that's what it looks like, but I wasn't hiding. I promise I wasn't hiding. Okay. But instead, she said she had to pick her things up and brush herself off and rebuild, and she couldn't feel sorry for herself, and if she's gonna be the boss bitch, she has to get her head out of her butt, and she needs to do all the right things. And then she starts talking about how her entire life, all she's wanted to do is be like the boss bitch. And she had this vision in her mind that she would be wearing her Louis Vuitton heels or Christian Louboutin heels, and, you know, have all her makeup on and like be walking around telling people everything to do. And that's like like what her thought was in her mind of what it would be like to own a company, and that she was ignorant and she didn't really know what it meant to be a boss. You think? Like if your literal like idea of being a boss means you're going to be wearing Christian Louboutin heels and wearing like pearls to the office, and all you're doing is telling people what to do is what a boss does, you need to go to school. And oh wait, she didn't. So therefore, that's why she probably doesn't know. So she said that over time, she was just sitting on the couch, dragging herself, watching. And then she said, I was watching articles. I didn't know you could actually watch articles, but hey, learn something new. She was watching videos. She was on Twitter and on Instagram. She said she didn't watch any drama videos on YouTube. I don't believe that. And she was obsessing over it. And so it consuming her. And she said, if you're going to be a boss bitch, you can't just, sit and be consumed by the negativity. You have to move forward. So that's why she said she had to delete her social media. It was distracting her from rebuilding, from firing, from hiring, from restructuring, from moving forward. She said that she's working on new products, and they've found a new lab. She says she has one product that's coming out that has a different lab, but all the other products were with the same lab. And so all of those products are going to be like delayed. She also said that up until this, she had 6 to 8 weeks of launches were supposed to come every 6 to 8 weeks, but now all of that is delayed. She's like, this sucks so bad. I'm so embarrassed. But then she's like, I gotta rise up. It felt very like all over the place. I felt like she was high and low, high and low, high and low. Like, I felt like Jaclyn needs to take her anxiety medication, or she needs to get on her ADHD meds or something, because she was so up and down and all over the place and hard to follow, and not saying anything of substance, and talking about how she hasn't left her house, but then she went out for lunch and 5 people said hi to her, and then that made her realize that, she still has people out there that like her, and she's going to post a new video on YouTube, and it's a makeup look that she loves. And that was it. That was the video, you guys. That was the 19-minute video of where she's been. Do you know where she's been? I don't know where she's been. All I heard was that she was like literally in her house for 40 days or whatever, crying. I imagine her eating a lot of bonbons or sucking on some, like eating ice cream or drinking slushies from 7-Eleven, or, downing wine or whatever it is that she does. But I didn't really hear anything of like where she's been. And then the final thing that she did was she publicly apologized to the first customer that brought the contamination issues to her attention. And she said that she's sorry for lashing out at that person, because she's still adjusting to what it feels like and what it means to be a boss bitch, and what that and transferring herself from the YouTuber to a CEO. And she shouldn't have handled it she shouldn't have handled it that way. She should have done something else. You guys, I feel like if you would have taken shots for every time she called herself a boss bitch in this video, you would have been drunk after 20 minutes, because that's all she talks about. All I heard was boss bitch, boss bitch, boss bitch. Oh, and also I needed to blah, 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 and lie, 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 deflection, deflection, gaslight, gaslight, feel sorry for me, end scene. I mean, that's really what the 19 minutes was. She didn't address anything related to the products. She didn't talk about anything related to, what happened. She didn't discuss anything related to the lab. She didn't discuss her, she had no plan, outline. If you've gone through this kind of issue, a CEO or a company would typically in this type of situation, have a formal press statement or something where they discuss what they're going to do for the next steps moving forward, how they plan to rectify the situation, and what they're going to do for the customers. She didn't address the contamination issues. She didn't discuss why she didn't do a recall. She really didn't say anything. And what it kind of felt like to me was it's like she has this new video that she wants to load up on YouTube, but she can't do that unless she says something. It reminded me kind of how Shane needed to do a documentary about Eugenia, because Eugenia needed to get back online, but she didn't want everyone to hate her. So she needed Shane to come and make her look like she's been healed and everything is fine, and ignore everything that's going on with her so she can get back on Twitch, back on YouTube, and make her money. And this is exactly what I feel like Jaclyn's doing. She has to make her money. So she has to do this video. She's got to pretend like she's being sincere, and she's going to upload a new video. And that's always what this is about. It's always about some sort of project, some sort of ulterior motive. It's never sincere. These influencers are starting to realize, and it's no wonder that customers are losing their faith and losing their trust in influencers. And it's really no wonder that the market and marketing and advertisers as a whole are starting to realize that the way that the influencers work right now isn't working, because so many people don't trust them. In fact, there's been multiple articles over the past week in Market Watch, on CNBC, on MSNBC, on CNN, on Forbes, related to the fact that the way that influencers are as we know it is going to be disappearing, because companies are no longer receiving the same return on investments. Instagram feeds and YouTube has become clogged with people just using it as a way to sell products, and people aren't getting this. They're not getting the kind of return or in the engagement based on the larger influencers. So people that have 3 or 4 million followers or subscribers, they only have maybe 2 to 3% engagement, whereas someone who has a smaller audience, under 10,000, might have 8 to 10% of engagement. And so companies aren't getting their money, they aren't getting the return on investment that they have to pay these influencers to actually promote their products. So this inflated, overhyped economical bubble of influencer is about to burst. It kind of reminds me of the .com burst, where everything became so overinflated and we were valuing websites not based on actual driven data and what they were bringing in for revenue, but what their future projections were. And I feel like a lot of what we've been doing with influencers has been related to future projections and what they could potentially do. But in the business world, when you start looking at dollars, cents, red versus black lines, companies don't want to be in the red. They want to be in the black. So, and you guys and me and the average consumer doesn't trust these people anymore. And it's why there's literally only 5 people that drama channels talk about anymore, because apparently those are the only 5 people left in the beauty community. So that's my take on Jaclyn Hill. There's a lot more to this than there needs to be. My advice to anyone that's in this world, that's in the beauty world, is the cosmetic industry has already too many brands. There's no more room for any more brands. There's really no way to make anything more innovative at this point. I don't know why she thought she was going to be able to make a more innovative lipstick. Come on, you guys. Lipstick is freaking lipstick. It's lipstick. That's what it is. Lipstick has been lipstick for years. I mean, I feel like the biggest innovation in lipstick has been the matte dry that actually dries on your lips so you don't have to reapply it. But an actual like cream lipstick, come on. They're a dime a dozen. So are eyeshadows, so are mascaras, so are, foundations. It's all the same. None of it is different. And they all use the same labs. They all outsource to companies outside of the country. They all they all are basically just private labels that stick their name on it, and they price it up. And I was reading this market analysis of like whether or not beauty products that are made and more expensive are actually worth more than what they are. Is it worth it to buy it? And basically what they said was, I'll just give you an example. If you're going to buy this, which is a NARS mascara, I think this is about a $24 mascara, or a Voluminous Super Fiber by L'Oreal, which, by the way, if you are looking for a decently priced drugstore brand, I think L'Oreal makes great mascara. But they said mascara, whether you buy this or this, has the same formula for the most part. The contents of what you're putting on your face is the same. The difference is the packaging. So in this, you get a brush like this. And on this one, you're going to pay a little bit more because it has a better looking package. And it has a more its brush is going to be a little bit better. That's it. So you're paying for packaging and brushes. That's it. You're not paying for a better mascara. So just remember that when you're buying your purchases. Now, if I have a mixture of makeup, but that's it. And then just don't get sucked into these new brands, you guys. Just go with what you know. Stick with what you know. Katie bought out by Big Mascara. Yes, I've been bought out by Big Mascara. If a makeup brand makes you feel a certain way and you want to spend more, fine, go for it. It took me a really long time to find a really good foundation that matched my skin. And so I spend a little bit extra because there's brands that have wider, color selections that are a little bit more expensive than some of the more drugstore lines. But that doesn't mean, and you are right, the better brush does make it work better. Correct, John. And so it is worth it. That's why this NARS mascara is worth it to me, because this brush is non-clumping. It doesn't and it's an extending, and it's a volumizer versus the brush that's made by L'Oreal. So absolutely. I agree with you 100%, John. But in terms of palettes and different eyeshadows, it's all kind of the same, you guys. With eyeshadow is pretty much eyeshadow. So you buy it whatever you want to buy it. So there we go. Jaclyn Hill says nothing. Whether or not you guys actually believe her is up to you. People reacting on Twitter were not convinced. Many people basically said exactly what I said, that she said nothing, that she addressed nothing, and she did nothing. So, this is where we're at with Jaclyn Hill. And if you have what your thoughts are, I'd love to know what you think about this video. If you didn't watch it, hey, that's fine too. I watched it for you, so you didn't have to watch it. But if you did take the 19 minutes to go through this video, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. Do you agree with what I've said? Do you think that after this is all said and done, she will be able to come back and rebuild this brand and actually have products sell? That's my biggest question, is like, if she launches more products, does she still have enough of a market to buy these? Are the voices that we're seeing on Twitter not reflective of the actual consumers that are happy? And that's always the issue with this kind of stuff, is you'll always see the most negative stuff online, not the most positive. So are we just hearing a lot of chatter and it's not actually reflective of reality? That's the kind of stuff I wonder about with moving forward. So let me know what you think, and I will be back later with some more Teen Mom 2 drama and maybe some other stuff related to science. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great morning. Bye.